Yo friends, short update video here for you. I posted a video a few months back about how I plan to add plants to my fence to help improve the fence and make it do a better job. And here's the results so far. So as a refresher, what I did was I dug up a single comfrey plant, and it has this large root system, and I broke off 1-2 inch chunks of roots, and then I just planted each of those 1-inch chunks of roots a few inches into the soil around the outside of. I didn't keep careful track, but I believe each one of those 1-inch chunks sprouted. I don't think I had any that didn't sprout. I also dug up some horseradish from my father's place and planted a thing of horseradish here. The idea was that I wanted plants to shade the immediate, outside boundary of the fence, so I would have to weed less or weed whack or mow less. And also I felt like if they're planted kind of densely, it might add one extra little barrier for animals or burrowing animals to dig under the. And here's what I found so. I think this one strip of comfrey along this 10-15 foot segment of fence perfectly met those goals. You can tell that under these most mature comfrey plants, there is no light hitting there, and there's really no weeds growing underneath them. Obviously back here there's some more weeds which will eventually work their way into the garden, but I think next year these plants will really grow and fill out quite a bit more like these big ones here. This section and everywhere else around the garden, I've had to mow or weed whack pretty consistently, and I've had trouble with weeds that are growing in between the fence and the rodent barrier here, so they're really hard to get out. I haven't had as many growing here because the comfrey's shading that area too. Some of the comfrey did really great, and some of it took a long time to sprout and just hasn't really grown much yet this year. The comfrey has definitely been the most animal resistant. The horseradish here feel like it's been nibbled or eaten by something, bugs or deer or something. So I can't imagine what would want to eat horseradish. But yeah, so that one, and it also doesn't seem to be as full, as thick of a ground cover as the comfrey. So from those two plants that I've tested, the comfrey is the winner for meeting those goals and those needs around the fence. However, I just don't want like a 300-foot row loop of comfrey. So I'm testing out some other things, and I'm also testing out trying to grow in between the comfrey. So I want to plant some edible plants in between each one, like a berry bush, like yastaberry or currant or something. I also planted some yarrow here, which I've found to be a really thick ground cover. It just has taken a lot longer. It's a slower grower than the comfrey. So maybe in a year or two, this patch will be an effective ground cover for the weeds. I also have some wintergreen here that I really don't have much familiarity growing. And this is just recently planted. So we'll give it at least another year before I judge its effectiveness. But I've been told that this can be a really thick ground cover as well. So in short, I think this is still a good idea. I'm glad I did what I did last year, and I'm interested in maybe trying out some new plants because I just have no need for that much comfrey. So if you have other ideas, preferably stuff that's edible, that's a thick ground cover that will help protect the edges of the fence so I don't have to weed whack and mow all the time, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts.